Hello students, welcome to all of you to today's class. Today we are going to discuss unit 4 of the chapter The Nightingale and the Rose. Okay, so before starting unit 4, let's discuss little bit points only for 1 or 2 minutes regarding the unit 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so let's start it. Listen, up to unit 3 we have read that the boy was desperate to get a red rose because there was a condition set by his lady love that if he is able to bring a red rose for her, then only she is going to dance with him. Otherwise, she is not going to dance with him. That's why the boy was desperate to get a red rose only. So throughout the garden he was searching a red rose, but he didn't get it. But the nightingale who was living in the oak tree, she understood the sorrow of the boy. And finally she did decide to build the red rose out of her music in the moonlit night and to sacrifice her life. Okay, so आम कौन पढ़ी जे पिलाटी केमिति गोटे नाली गोलाप कांदुला बिकज इफ ही इज नॉट गिविंग द रेड रोज जदि से नाली गोलाप दे पारनी तार प्रेमिका ता सहित डांस करिवो नहीं. ओके, दैट्स व्हाई ही वाज सैड. बट जितेबाला नाइटिंगेल देखला जे दिस बॉय इज क्राइंग, ए पिलाटी गोटे नाली गोलाप कांदुची, से डिसाइड कला ता जीवन देकी मध्य बाय सैक्रिफाइसिंग हर लाइफ शी विल प्रोवाइड ए रेड रोज टू द बॉय. ओके, सो नाउ लेट्स सी either the nightingale is able to construct the red rose or not, because according to the rose tree गच्छर माने ना गोलाप गच्छर कथा अनुसार नाइटिंगेल टी को तार म्यूजिक रे तार गीत रे से गोलाप फूल को तैयारी करबा को पड़िबो. As I told you always, whenever I am teaching you, you just go through the book so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, let's start. Warm up we are not discussing. Go through the text, we will not waste the time. And when the moon shone in the heavens, what do you mean by heavens? Heavens means we know it means Sorgo, but here it means sky. So जेतेबेले संध्या हो गला राति हैला आकाश रे जह्न देखा गले. Okay, means when the moon started shining in the sky, the nightingale flew to the rose tree. Where did the nightingale fly? The nightingale flew to the rose tree. Nightingale कौन कला गोलाप गछ पाखक उड़ी करी चली गला. And set her breast against the thorn. And how did she sit? She sat. देखो से एठी नाइटिंगेल गछर कंटा ऊपर बसुनी, से गछ डाल रे बसुची, किंतु कौन करछि जे तार चेस्ट तार छाती को से कंटा ऊपर एमिति रखुची, सो दैट टाइम टू टाइम दैट थोर्न से कंटा गोलाप गछर कंटा कौन हबो नाइटिंगेल रो बॉडी भीतर को एंट्री करिवो. Okay, set her breast against the thorn all night long. She sang with her breast against the thorn, and all night, the complete night, the nightingale was sitting by pressing her breast against the thorn. माने राति सारा ता छाती रे से कंटाटी को एमती लगेगी की माने कंटारे एमती लागी की से बसिछि. And the cold crystal moon, it is mentioned cold crystal moon. Why? Number of adjectives are being written because moon crystal color. Okay, transparent, white, and cold it is mentioned because moonlight is cool. That's a cold crystal moon. Lean down means what? Bow down, to come down. Actually moon was not coming down, this is all the expression of the writer. So emitiki that moon was also coming down to listen the sweet music of the nightingale. Lean down and listen all nights long, she sang, and the complete night the nightingale was singing. And the thorn went deeper and deeper into her breast, and that thorn से कंटाटी complete राति नाइटिंगेल गीत बोलला आ से कंटाटी धीरे धीरे कौन हैला ता छाती भीतर को प्रवेश कला आ जाय कि तार हार्ट को टच कला into her breast, and her life blood eve away from her. Why it is mentioned life blood? Because if heart is not there we can't live. Practically, listen, don't be emotional. Don't think emotionally, think practically. Without heart, a human being can't survive. Okay, so here the blood which is present in the heart of the nightingale, that one is known as her heart's life blood. Okay, heart's blood. That's why in राति सारा तले से कंटाटी तार हार्ट को टच करिछि, तार माने जीवन रक्त कौन हेछि बोही आसिकी रोज प्लांट रो हो जाइछि. She sang. So the nightingale started singing. She sang first of the birth of love in the heart of a boy and a girl. So what is the theme of the first song which is being sung by the nightingale? It was all about the birth of love in the heart of a boy and a girl, means how love has taken birth in the heart of a boy and a girl is the theme of her first song. प्रथम गीतर थीम कौन थिला? गोटे पुओ आ गोटे झीवर हृदय रे किपरि भल पाइबार जन्म होछि, किपरि लव र जन्म होछि, दिस वाज द थीम. क्लियर? And on the topmost spray means branch of the rose tree that blossom a marvelous rose. एउ जेतेबेले से गीत बोलिला कौन है? On the topmost branch माने गोलाप गछर पूरा टॉप ब्रांच रे गोटे सुंदर गोलाप फुलटी देखागला. एक्चुअली फुलटा तो देखा जाय नथिबो ना, ऑल ऑफ सडन कढ़ोटी देखागला, सुंदर कढ़ोटे देखागला, वंडरफुल कढ़ोटे देखागला. petal following petal, then what happened? petal following petal, गोटे परे गोटे गोटे परे गोटे पाखुड़ा भी देखागला. A song followed song, जेमती गीत परे गीत चलिबो सेमती पाखुड़ा परे पाखुड़ा चले. I have a red rose also to show you. See, like this. Got it? So all the petals, these are known the petals. So all the petals blossom one by one. And at first pale it was, at first as the mist that hangs over the river. But first the rose was looking pale, just like the mist that was spread on the river. Okay, नदी उपरे कुहुड़ी जेमती पेल देखा जिवो, सेता देखा जिवो, से टाइप रे देखा जाउतला से रोस्टी. But the tree cried to the nightingale to press closer against the thorn. But what happened? The tree started speaking. Cry means it kandiba nuho, to speak loudly. The tree started speaking to the nightingale loudly. Press closer nightingale, press closer, otherwise or the day will come before the rose is finished. आ जदि तो प्रेस करिबु नाही, जदि तोर हार्ट रो ब्लड फ्लो होबो नाही, देन व्हाट विल हैपन? दिन होई जिवो किंतु गोलाप फुलटी होई परिबो नाही, गोलाप फुल कंप्लीट होई परिबोनी. ओके, सो फर्स्ट कोन हैला? गोलाप फुल कढ़ देखा जाय कि गोटे परे गोटे पाखुड़ा देखा गला, बट इट वाज नॉट रेड इन कलर. ओके, so the nightingale pressed closer against the thorn. So nightingale, what did she do? She just pressed closer. Okay, just like this, press closer to the thorn. And louder grew her song. And when the nightingale was pressing closer to the thorn, her voice grew louder and louder. देखो आम हाथ को जदि टिके ब्लेड रे काटी जाउची, we are feeling extreme pain. Yes or no? Now think, knowingly the nightingale was getting all this pain in order to give a red rose to the boy. So first is saying the birth of passion in the soul of a man and maid. And this time what did she sing? The birth of passion. Passion means interest, but here it is desires. Okay, romantic feelings, something like that. So birth of passion in the soul of a man and maid. And second song ra theme kon thila? The birth of desires in the heart of a man. Maid means not the servant, here it is lady. Okay, in the heart of a man and in the heart of a lady, how the desires did take birth. And a delicate flush of pink came to the leaves of the rose. And to the leaves of the rose, a delicate flush of pink color came, like the flush in the. So what do you mean by flush? Listen, flush means suddenly something happening. Okay, look. Have you seen when people are feeling shy, when they are extremely happy, when they are extremely angry, their face becomes red. से मानको मुह पूरा नाली हो जाए, लाल रंग हो जाए. आउ पर्टिकुलरली देखिथिबो गर्ल्स माने दे आर यूजिंग ब्लशर, artificial color to show the flush. Okay, to show the pinkish color. So here, no, I have not used. So it is mentioned that a delicate flush of pink came to the leaves of the rose. So से rose रो petals रे, leaves रे वो delicate pink color आसीगला. So the petals were looking pink in color, like the flush in the face of the bridegroom. Bridegroom means what? Bride means kanya, going to marry girl. Bridegroom means boro, going to marry boy. Okay, like the flush in the face of the bridegroom. So how and how the pink was looking like? It was looking like the flush in the face of the bridegroom. माने बरर चेहरा रे जो pinkish color flush देखा जाए when he kisses the lips of the bride. So when the groom kisses the lips of his wife, okay, means the lips of the bride how his face also becomes pink in color. That type of pink color is visible here. Okay, listen, it is written, that's why I did speak you. But the thorn had not yet reached her heart. So pink color sina hegala, but till now the thorn had not reached the nightingale's heart. Nightingale heart re se kontati pahunchi nathila. So the rose's heart remained white. So the heart of the rose means what? Look, this is the rose, this middle portion. Okay, the heart of the rose, this middle part of the rose, it remained white. So the heart of the rose remained completely white. For only a nightingale's heart's blood can crimson. Crimson means deep red color. The heart of a rose. Because the rose was remaining pinkish color. It was not remaining that much of red, and the heart was remaining completely white, because nightingale's heart's blood can make the rose colorful. Nightingale ର ହୃଦୟର ରକ୍ତ ହିଁ ସେ ଗୋଲାପକୁ completely ନାଲି ରଙ୍ଗ କରିଦେବ. That's why it was remaining white in color. Got it? And the tree cried to the nightingale to press closer against the thorn. And once again the tree cried to the nightingale that press closer, press closer. Press closer, nightingale, cried the tree, or the day will come before the rose is finished. So the same words are being repeated. So the tree is speaking once again, oh nightingale, press closer, otherwise day will come. Dino hoijibo, kintu golap phuloti tiyari hoi paribo nahi. Nali rangor golap phulo tiyari hoi pariboni. So the nightingale pressed closer against the thorn. So what did the nightingale do? The nightingale pressed more and more closer, and the thorn touched her heart. Finally, the thorn touched the heart of the nightingale. ଶେଷରେ ସେ କଣ୍ଟାଟି, ଗୋଲାପ ଗଛର କଣ୍ଟାଟି ନାଇଟିଙ୍ଗେଲ ହୃଦୟକୁ ଟଚ୍ କରିଛି. And a fierce means a strong, pang of pain means terrible pain, ଗୋଟେ strong pain, ଗଭୀର ଯନ୍ତ୍ରଣା shot through her. ଏବଂ when what happened, the thorn means touched the heart of the nightingale did feel terrible pain. ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ କଣ୍ଟାଟି ନାଇଟିଙ୍ଗେଲ ହାର୍ଟକୁ ଟଚ୍ କରିଛି, ନାଇଟିଙ୍ଗେଲ ଗଭୀର ଯନ୍ତ୍ରଣା ଅନୁଭବ କରିଛି. bitter and bitter was the pain. Bitter means what? Something worse. Okay, ତିକ୍ତ, ଆମେ ଯେଉଁ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ କହୁଛେ ସେଟାକୁ ତିକ୍ତ. Bitter and bitter was the pain, and wider grew her song. And the nightingale was also unable to understand anything at that time, because she was feeling terrible pain in her body, in her heart. So the pain was bitter, the pain was strong, and her voice was growing louder and louder. For she is saying of the love that is perfected by death. And now the last song was the love which is perfected by death. जो भल पाइबा, जो प्रेमर परिपूर्ण होता है मृत्यु रे. Okay, that was the song, that was the last song of the nightingale. Of the love that dies not in the tomb. Tomb means what? Samadhi. Okay, graveyard. Actually graveyard नहीं, समाधि को ही बुझेगा. And the song, the nightingale is singing that the love which is being perfected by death, and the love that doesn't die after your death also. For example, we also remember a number of people, Hero Ranjha, Leela Majnu, okay, and our Indian great love story of Ram and Sita, okay. So all these things, their love didn't die even after their death also. So likewise, the nightingale was also singing the love which is being completed by sacrifice, by death, and the love that doesn't die even after the death of the person. माने समाधि रे भी से प्रेमर अंत नहीं, चिरंतन शाश्वत प्रेम. And the marvelous rose and a wonderful rose became crimson, and se sundar rose tide became completely red color, like the rose of the eastern sky. And how it was looking like the rose of the eastern sky. Why eastern sky is mentioned here? Because during the sunlight, means sunrise, eastern sky looks crimson red color. That's why it is mentioned like this. But the nightingale's voice grew fainter, and her little wings began to beat. But the nightingale's voice was not clear right now. It was growing fainter and fainter. At the same time, she started flapping her wings because she was feeling terrible pain. And her eyes became dim. ମାଛର ଆଖି ଦେଖିଛ? ମାଛକୁ ଯଦି ପାଣିରୁ ବାହାର କରିଦେବ ତା ଆଖି ଏମିତି ହେଇଯିବ, because the fish will die. So nightingale ତାର ଡେରାକୁ ଏମିତି ବହୁତ ଜୋରରେ ହଲଉଥିଲା, because the nightingale was unable to tolerate the pain. After all, it was also having a life, एंड ता आखि जाक डीम हुए माने आखि जाक पूरा बंद ही आसुला एंड fainter and fainter grew her song and now she is unable to sing loudly. Her voice became fainter. Fainter माने कौन धीरे धीरे means slow. It became quite slow. And she felt something choking in her throat and the nightingale was unable to breathe because there was a hole in the heart. Okay, and the thorn has already entered into her heart. The blood was flowing away from her heart and the nightingale was feeling something had choked in her throat. She was unable to breathe. Then she gave one last burst of music and now out of, it is mentioned burst means what? Something that will break because of the pressure, because of the internal pressure. For example, if we swell a balloon, what will happen? Automatically it will burst after some time. So here finally the nightingale gave a loud voice means बहुत जोरे nightingale बहुत जोरे गीत बोला because of the inner pain. And it trembled. The red rose heard it, and the red rose heard it. And it trembled all over with ecstasy. Trembled all over with ecstasy means what? Look. Okay, likewise. Understood? So, this nightingale is also, this rose is also trembling. This one I did bring for you. So, this rose is also trembling with ecstasy, with great joy. And opened its petals to the cold morning air. Listen one thing. Here, I have told you from the beginning that rose flower it didn't blossom. Rose didn't blossom. माने फूलटा फुटी नथिला पाखुड़ा ही हेइथिला. It was in the shape of a bud might be गोटे कढ़र condition रे थिला because it is mentioned here and opened its petals. Now see here it might be possible that the rose was like this completely closed previously. Okay, it was completely closed and when the nightingale did sing all the song and when she died all the petals were being opened like this. Okay, and in the cold morning air, so all the petals are now open in the cold morning air. Look back, cried the tree, the rose is finished now. And now the tree is speaking to the nightingale. Nightingale, nightingale, see, the rose is finished now. But the nightingale made no answer. But there was no answer given by the nightingale. Nightingale किछि भी आंसर दो नथिले because the nightingale was not alive. For she was laying dead in the long grass with the thorn in her heart. And what was the condition of the nightingale? The nightingale was laying on the grass. And how? With the thorn in her heart. तार छाती रे से कंटाडी लगे nightingale घास ऊपर पड़ी जाइथिला and the nightingale is now dead. Understood? Understood the poem? Sorry, understood the chapter? Unit 4 over. Okay. So finally, the nightingale sacrificed her life in order to provide a red rose to the young student. Got it? Any doubt? You can ask me. All of you, have a nice time.